full gear and that lets you save.
Who cares?
True Form Life.
Green look.
Welcome to another edition of Exploring Mind and Body, the only health and fitness show in Central Alberta. I'm your host, True Form's Drew Tadia, fitness expert. On today's show, we're going to talk about the intimidating word change and the benefits of it.
Everybody's favorite topic, those six-pack abs and common myths we buy into every day.
And we're talking about Complete Truth protein powder. All that and so much more coming up on...
This is Exploring Mind and Body with True Form's Drew Tadia, fitness expert on 96.5 CKFM.
In this segment, we're talking about changing food routines. Food is like exercise in many ways. Changing up your routine to avoid plateaus. If you want to continue to see results, times of days can be changed. Of course, which foods you choose to prepare and what time of day you're eating them. If you do the exact same thing day in and day out, for most of us, we feel stagnant. We need changes. As much as many of us are afraid of change, we need them. At least small adjustments. If we do the same thing day after day, we get bored. We lose focus on our goals. We lose interest in what we're trying to achieve or what we've set out to do. Changing things up is also important in the big scheme of things. So change your eating patterns. Get up a little earlier and prepare a bigger meal. Change your regular shake to quinoa and eggs. Or if you have eggs and toast, try a shake and have that meal for breakfast. I run into a lot of people that eat the same thing every morning or go through a phase when they eat the same thing and think they won't get tired of it. I've done this myself. Then when we finally get tired of it and we don't want it all of a sudden for an extended period of time, which gives us one less option. Why don't we change things up before that time comes? Before we get tired of something and don't want to look at it anymore, let alone prepare and eat it. If we change things up before that happens, we can add it to our weekly nutrition schedule, giving us one more option of foods we enjoy. Don't be afraid to mix up your whole food schedule with what you eat. There's nothing wrong with breakfast foods for dinner. Try it out sometime. You may actually enjoy it. I often enjoy pancakes and eggs for my last meal of the day. Healthy pancakes, mind you, which can be found in my Complete Truth recipe book, or maybe one I'll share on another show. I wouldn't recommend steak and mashed potatoes first thing in the morning, but I suppose I wouldn't recommend that at any time of day. My point is, it's important to keep things interesting in all aspects of life, more particularly in health and fitness. We want to continually get better, move forward, and see results. We do this by changing this up. There's no way around it. Humans are great at adapting, and without change, we're stagnant. Our muscles adapt to the same routine, and our bodies stay the same with food. So put in that effort. Enjoy your little adjustments, and enjoy the results that come along with it.
When I used to spend way too many hours in the gym, one of the most frequent questions I got was, what kind of sit-ups can I do to target my core? What kind of exercises can I do that will reduce my stomach fat? Or how can I get those six-pack abs? I'm not talking about beer. We're going to run through some tips right now. The first thing I'm going to tell you, sit-ups is the last thing you should worry about if you're trying to get rid of belly fat. We all have abs. We all have a flat stomach. The problem is, many of us can't see it. On top of that, we have been misinformed about how to get them. We are bombarded with all these fitness equipment that guarantees us it will give us those washboard abs. More on that later, but let's continue with sit-ups. You can do sit-ups for endless hours, and you won't notice an ounce of difference if you're not eating properly. So the number one way to get those washboard abs is to focus on nutrition. You have to eat healthier to get rid of that midsection fat. Sorry folks, there's no way around it. Change the way you eat if you want to give yourself a chance at those washboard abs. Let's take care of the gimmick question, because that comes up a lot. Let me sum it up. The fitness industry is a billion-dollar business, and a good portion of that is quick fixes. Only 10 minutes a day this, 5 minutes a day that. I got to tell you, if you hear a product advertising their product alone will guarantee you results, I can guarantee you their claims are false. We're all looking for that quick fix, that magic pill. I'm sorry to say, it doesn't exist. We work hard to get the results we're after. There's no two ways about it. There are many things you can do to change up your routine, but when it comes down to it, if you're not willing to put in the effort, you won't reach your goals. There's no magic pill or quick fix machine that will rip up your abs in only minutes a day. The fitness industry preys on people being uneducated about not only their product, but about fitness in general. If we knew better, there wouldn't be thousands and thousands of these products out there. They are made because we believe what they're advertising. We believe there's a quick fix, and we believe their product will work. So spending and spending until we have dozens of what I like to call expensive clothes hangers sitting in our basements or garages. Of course, there are a few programs you can buy that work and do show positive results, but they usually come with a trainer, a number of CDs, and a nutrition plan. The main idea I'm talking about right here are those quick fix gimmicks. Toss those gimmicks aside and put in some hard work if you really want to show those abs. Let me offer a few words about those magic pills that goes right along with these gimmicks. It seems like every time there's a new magazine coming out, there's a new magic pill. Something new that will burn that body fat by just taking a pill. I like to ask a better question when we want a better answer. So let's say there was a magic pill. Let's say all these claims are actually true, and all you had to do was pop a pill and voila, off goes the fat. Don't you think this would be a gold mine? Don't you think this would only be an over-the-counter drug due to billions of revenue? Do you think our growing obesity rate would be diminished in no time? There would no longer be obese or out-of-shape people. Pop this pill and our body fat troubles are over. Many times the main ingredient in these energy, burn fat pills is caffeine. Read the back of the label. It's simple. There could be a number of ingredients which all point towards caffeine, all in which you can be certain of this will speed up your heart rate. If I could say one thing to anyone considering this idea who wants to live healthier, it would be stay away. Not only do these pills increase our resting heart rate, which means our heart rate is working overtime when we're doing nothing, but what do you think happens to your heart when you jump into strenuous exercise when your heart is already pumping at a rate it's not used to? I hear it all the time. They give me more energy. They give me a boost when I'm in the gym, or it pushes me to work harder. Let me share one of my little secrets with you. Set yourself some goals. Find something that motivates you, something that's real, internally, and something that won't disappear when that bottle runs out. More tips for washboard abs coming up.
Exploring mind and body with True Form's Drew Tadia would not be possible without the help from the following sponsors: Health Street, Shoppers Drug Mart, and the CLC Fitness Center, uniting together for a healthier tomorrow. To find out more about Drew Tadia and True Form Life, or to become a sponsor, visit TrueFormLife.com.
The next thing I'm going to talk about is cardio to get those abs we're all after. Endless, boring cardio. The same thing day after day. As soon as you step into the gym, it feels like you're standing right next to Bill Murray in Groundhog's Day. You'd do anything to get out of that gym. But for some reason, someone instilled in your mind that jumping on the cardio machine is the only way to get rid of that stomach fat. It's proven that resistance training burns your metabolism up to 48 hours after a workout. Pure cardio can't come close to this statistic. This is the main reason you see people spending hours on a cardio machine and not getting the results they're after. What about a high-intensity workout? Could be interval training, which means you go hard for a short amount of time and then take a quick rest. How about a 20-minute round of circuit training to bump up that heart rate and get your body into that fat-burning stage? I'm telling you for a fact that using resistance training as your cardio, incorporating the two, you'll get much more results in burning fat and well on your way to that flat stomach or six-pack abs than you will on a cardio machine alone. And finally, let's talk about looks. I mean magazine looks. First and foremost, there's something wonderful out there called Photoshop, where they can make anyone look like a fitness queen. Don't believe everything you see or read. Many of those pictures are altered to such a degree, there's a good chance you won't recognize that fitness model if they're standing next to you in an elevator. On top of that, fitness models follow a strict diet, which consists of dehydrating not only with water, but with carb depletion before photo shoots. Meaning most of the time, those pictures you see of people in magazines isn't what they look like when they're not getting ready for a shoot. That's not what they look like in everyday life, which doesn't mean you shouldn't work hard or can't achieve your goals. Just remember your goals may not only be unrealistic, but they may not even be real. So there you have it, the truth right in front of you. Don't feel cheated or robbed if you're a firm believer in any of these common myths. They are common, and if millions didn't think the same as you, the industry wouldn't be a billion-dollar one. So next time you grab a magazine, are drawn to that magic pill or gimmick section of wherever you may be, take a pass, tie on those running shoes, and take a real step in the right direction to your dream abs.
True Form Life.
All right, in this segment, we're going to talk about Complete Truth Protein Powder. I want to make sure you all know it's available at Health Street and at Beam Brokers. This protein was designed for a target audience of everyone. I wanted to come up with a perfect protein that didn't have any limitations, and I feel strongly that I did, being that there's no gluten, dairy, or soy products. There's no preservatives, additives, or any unnatural coloring or flavoring. Complete Truth Protein can be baked with any item, with reduced sugar, of course, to make a healthy option. One of the main responses I get when talking about this protein is, I don't want to gain weight. I don't want to gain muscle mass, so I don't have any use for that. It's hard to explain to the average person that hasn't been taught how to eat properly. I want to be clear here. Protein shakes, or shakes in general, are for everyone. I'm not a big believer in copious amounts of protein. I'm not one of those people that believe all you need is protein and you'll have that muscle mass you're looking for. I believe we need a balance. We need all sorts of nutrients to supplement our bodies. I'm a big believer in shakes,
because they represent efficiency. It's a great, quick, easy way to get nutrients in your body throughout the day. The best part about them are, they don't take long to make and you can take them with you and go. I'm talking about real food here. Many times we run into the chemical and processing problem of the actual protein shake. Go ahead and grab one of the average cheap proteins off the shelf and try to read the ingredients. I'd place a large wager we couldn't read or spell half the ingredient. And this is what we reach for when we think of a protein shake. This is what we put in our bodies pre and post workout, which could very well be, next to breakfast, the most important meal of the day. Complete Truth Protein was put together to counter the industry and all the artificialness about it. There's a small processing stage with our powder. There's no heating. There's no adding. Nothing is taken out in this process. This is real food. Using this shake, you're not putting one thing in your body that shouldn't be going in it. Everything is natural. This is like drinking a perfect meal that includes fiber, slow digesting carbs, healthy fats, and other vitamins and minerals that stand out like iron and zinc. On top of that, you add good, natural protein, and all the other benefits hemp hearts offer, a complete protein being at the top of the list. Hemp protein is one of, if not the most utilized, most efficient protein that we can find, meaning the body will use more of this type of protein than any other kind. Let's take whey protein, for example. Not that I'm picking on them, just because it's the most used in the industry. If you have 20 grams of whey protein and 14 grams of hemp protein, your body will be using more protein because the body absorbs more hemp. I've had great feedback already. A couple of short testimonials read as follows. I feel like I've ate for a longer amount of time after I've had a Complete Truth protein shake. I don't get hungry right away like I do with regular shakes. Another one reads as follows. Complete Truth is my new favorite thing. I reach for a shake in the morning instead of a coffee. I'd like to note that whatever supplement or food you're going to frequently put in your body, it's important to do some research. It sounds like a hassle, but if you're really concerned about your health, you'll look into this. The food industry is surrounded by deception, and I'm not talking about just protein powder here. I'm talking about all foods in general. Most companies don't want you to know what's in their products, and if they did, it would be clearly stated. They wouldn't have a number of different names for main ingredients. They wouldn't put the writing so small you can't see it. And if they're really concerned about your health, they wouldn't bother with any additives involved with a simple food. We support these companies every day. We buy their products, we recommend their products, and we feed them to our children. It seems like many times their goal is to find a way how to make more money out of us, the consumer, instead of offering us better options in the industry making changes. But I'm talking about the norm here. I'm talking about the average, everyday company that sells millions of products and could care less about how detrimental their ingredients are to our health. So once again, do some research and do your best to find out what's in the food we're consuming.
True Form Life.
All right, in this segment, we're going to talk about undue stress. We're always worried about something. Worried about if so-and-so will get along. Worried about coworkers or employees, friends and family. Who we are pleasing, who likes us, our jobs, and almost always our money. I like to call this undue stress. Most of the time, and I say most in capital letters, whatever we're worried about, whatever we're stressed about, whatever it is that stays in the back of our minds when it's not directly on our minds is something that isn't a big deal. At the very least, not as much as a big deal as we think it is. I'm sure we've all been in that situation where we did something we probably shouldn't have. We think we're going to get fired once the boss finds out, our best friend may leave our side, or maybe our parents will be disappointed in us. Our biggest problem in these situations is that we don't confront the issue. We put it off until it goes away, which it almost never does, or until we have no choice but to address it. This only causes stress or even anxiety to build up. Whatever we're worried about multiplies as we continue to put it off and worry about it more. Time is no friend when we're avoiding a problem. Let's talk about how to address an issue. I'm a big believer in lists. So what we're going to do is start a list. Instead of avoiding what's bothering us, let's pick the thing that's most relevant in our minds. The first step is write it down. After we've written it down, we're going to write down our biggest fear. That's right, write down the worst case scenario. Then finally, you're going to write down as many things as you can as to what you can do to take action to address these fears. Most of the time, writing down the fear alone will be a big help. I'm telling you that I can almost guarantee you that once you address the situation, once you stare it right in the face, it won't seem so bad. It's that procrastination, that hiding from the issue or problems that causes these issues to grow like they do. So once you sit down and actually address them, you'll see that they aren't so bad. And if